Hello, welcome to Diggers Outdoors. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit off kilter. We're going to talk about dollies. Okay, you're probably wondering, okay, why are we talking about dollies here? We're kind of going to go back to the SHTF situation here. Let's say you have a decent amount of gear to move, but you're on foot. I'm going to show you a way that you can get it moved, but first we're going to go over a couple different styles of dollies here. The first one I'm going to show you is this one right here. Let me move my hook. But this one right here is just a regular simple dolly, but it has an extendable handle on it. This extendable handle is going to make all the difference in the world. You'll probably see that it does have wheels on it right here and here, and that's of no consequence. That's okay. These would come in handy. These wheels here come in handy because you can flip this around and put the handle in here if you're on pavement. 9 times out of 10, you ain't going to be on pavement though. You're probably going to have to go through the woods. But the reason I like this one is like this. You can put it down like that. This is kind of a weird, I wouldn't say a weird angle, but it's a little bit of a steep angle. If you extend out that handle, you can get this down a little bit lower and make it a little bit easier to deal with. But that's one style here. And the way I have this one set up, I usually have a cotter pin of some sort. This one I have set up on this deal here, and what this is a pin for PTO. A small PTO, but a pin for PTO. Give me 1 second, there we go. As you can see though, I can make out a lot taller. And when I make it taller like this, you see how much more of a shallow angle it is? It's not steep like it was like this. You can get it down at an angle like this, which is going to make it a lot easier to move. Especially if you're going through the woods. The more level you can get this and still stand upright, the easier it's going to be to utilize. And now we're going to go over here to this dolly. This dolly here would not be, you could use it as is, the way it sits right there. But the problem with it is that you can't extend it out. You're stuck in one position. This is what they call a kick out. Or that's what we call it a kick out. And what this is see how it has the wheels on it, and the wheels are on their own frame? We'll turn this thing around here. I'll show you what I mean by a kick out. You get it around backwards. You kick that little lever and it comes down like that. I mean, if you could find a way to get that handle and get it out in here someplace, you could use it like that one, but if you're trying to keep things quick and on the fly, that's not the way to go, because you got to do all kinds of either tying it in place, or if you think you have a couple extra minutes trying to weld it, not worth the hassle. Not worth the hassle, not worth using the resources up on. But if you're in a situation, you come across like a dolly like that, I would snag that sucker up. You'd be surprised how much gear you could put on something like that over something like this. Well, you can put a lot of gear on both of them, but that one there's going to make it a lot easier to get it through the woods. Get it to where you need it to go. But give me a couple minutes, I'm going to set this one up and we may take a little test drive with this one. Okay, we're back here. Here's The other thing I didn't really realize, I wasn't thinking about till I went and grabbed my pack. This is my you may recognize that from another video. That's my get home bag that I carry in the truck. But with the wheels though, with the wheels in the front, they do come in handy for one thing. If you ever have to put this thing down, let's say there's a little bit of snow on the ground or whatever, you can put this down, it'll sit fairly level and keep all your stuff up off the ground. So that's a definite plus there. But what I think we're going to do is we're going to go out for a little bit of a test drive. But I'm not strapping the pack on. This is where ratchet straps will come in, because you can run a ratchet strap around this to hold this stuff on, then run a ratchet strap this way or tie it on, or however you see fit, to make sure everything stays on here, it doesn't come off. Another thing, this has the small tires on it. If I was going to use this thing outdoors, what I would do is I would probably have to knock these off, these little fenders, and what I would do is I would put these wheels on it. Now these wheels here, these are solid rubber. They're not pneumatic. So I put on solid rubber wheels, put it on this over here, because the bigger wheels will make it a little bit easier to get through the woods. And where I got this idea from is the Indians and the French used to use a thing called the Travois, which was a framework they would make out of wood. They would put their gear on it and drag it through the woods, but it had no wheels on it. So, I mean, the Travois made getting larger loads through hard terrain a little bit easier. The wheels are going to make it easier yet. So, let's pick this thing up. I'll show you what I mean by angle. I mean, that's all the more angle I'm going to have on it. I mean, this thing's maybe about 20 degrees. Maybe 30. But it's not too steep at all. So, we're going to go here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go around the loop. Go around this way. There we go. And see how this is to handle in the woods. I mean, through the grass, it's not doing that bad at all. We're going to have some hills. And get this thing to come back on again. There we go. Yeah, I was going to take it up and go like literally through the woods. Do some, actually go off the trail. Down here, there's not really a good place to go off the trail with it. And up around that second loop, there's a couple bow hunters up there. I don't really want to disturb them too much, out of respect. So I'm going to keep it down here on my own property. Now, the one thing you want to keep in mind is going downhill, the weight of this is going to push you a little bit. You just have to be ready for that. And the thing I would do is, I use this Dolly for work all the time, so I just let it rest up against my back there. That way I could just use my whole body weight to hold it back. I don't have to try to hold her off to the side, wrestle it, turn backwards, or what have you. But this is it, going through the woods right here. Yeah, we're going through the woods right here. I mean, it's not doing that bad. And I can definitely say this is a lot easier than trying to lug a pack and all the other gear. I mean, I just have a pack on there, so I mean, I could throw that pack on and go through the woods no problem. But if you're carrying a lot more than that pack, this could be an option. And it is a little extra weight, but with that little extra weight making things a lot easier, kind of weighs itself out. And I mean, it's handling the bumps pretty good. Pack staying put. I mean, I wouldn't have the pack tied down, so everything's going good with that right now. Okay, we got another hill here, so what I think we're going to do is we're going to watch this thing. I'm going to walk backwards and we're going to watch this thing go down the hill. I mean, it doesn't do too bad at all. Plus, as I said before, I use this one for work. I mean, I work with Dollies day in, day out, so it's something you kind of get a feel for. You can, there's all kinds of uses for these things. This is just one of them I thought up off the top of my head for outdoors if you have to move a lot of equipment, especially in SHTF, grid down, EMPs, coronal mass ejection, CME, or anything like that, where you don't have the convenience of a vehicle. And so far, the pack's still staying in place. So far, I mean, I haven't moved anything. Never shut the camera off. It's still staying right where I put it. And this with this Dolly, this is kind of an experiment for me to see if this would actually work. I'm thinking it would, and it is, so just something to think about. But let's get one out through here. Yeah, this is a pretty well maintained trail too, so but if you're going over a log, once you get those wheels over the log, you can just drag that thing right on over. Just be careful how it hits. Once you get over the log, you should be good to go. But with a setup like this, you could probably move 2, 3 more times than what you could carry on your back. I wouldn't go too much over, depending on how much stuff you have to move. I would try not to go over like 100 to 150 pounds tops. But I mean, if you have a lot of gear to move, this could be a way to do it. Plus, the other thing is, it is pretty quiet. See how we handle this here? Oh, like a champ. As you can see, though, I mean, it's easy. And the thing about it is, if you look at the way I'm dragging this behind me, hang on here. If you look at the way I'm dragging this behind me, I'm trying to keep it directly behind me, so I can use my body to slow it down and keep it within my track. Because if I can fit, that Dolly can fit. So you want to try to keep that thing behind you as much as possible, especially if you're going through thick woods. As I said, I'm on a trail, so it doesn't really make a difference. I could get it beside me if I wanted to. But here we go. Here's a nice, yeah, right over that root, like it wasn't even there. Here's another root. So how we do with this one. Nice. See, with roots and stuff like this, I mean, it floats right over them. Didn't lose a pack yet. But I hope you enjoyed this idea anyway. One thing I did notice, I didn't flip it, but if you get into like a side hill situation, you might have a little bit of trouble there. But if you can either keep going straight up or straight down, or keep it on the level, or keep it level from front to back, I mean from side to side. Not worry about front to back so much, but from side to side, you'll be good to go. But I appreciate the views, look forward to the comments, and I'll talk to y'all later.